What's up guys, Spin Firearms here, and today we're just going to talk about one thing when it comes to carrying a smaller firearm. Obviously on this channel we focus mainly on concealed carry friendly firearms that are more comfortable for throughout the day, also going to be reliable there for you when you need it. Now, one of the major things, this is probably the only downside when it comes to small concealed carry firearms nowadays, because the capacity is there, the power is there, the accuracy is there. There's so much great technology, so many awesome firearm brands out there, so much competition, that there's not really issues with reliability or anything like that. The main thing for me, which I don't even think it's a big idea, but someone wanted me to touch on it, is changing mags with a smaller firearm. For instance, if you have a Glock 19, you can get, your 3-finger contact on there. That mag well is going to sit right here, right? So it's going to be easy to just throw that next mag in. Whereas something like a Glock 26, your third finger is always going to be off the firearm, regardless if you're carrying flush. Even with most base plates, your fingers going to be hanging off a little bit, potentially being in the way of that mag reload. But all this stuff can be fixed with training, right? When you're training, for me anyways, to get to that mag, because of how my hands are, in order to get to that mag release, I have to move my thumb up a little bit and these fingers back. And so I just immediately am trained to just remove my pinky anyways, and these fingers sort of come back, and then I drop. And then they stay out of the way until I'm good, and then I rotate back on. I don't really have an issue with that, but that is going to be a downside to having a smaller firearm. You're not going to be able to have as fast of mag changes. It's just that simple. It's just common sense. You're going to have to do something different in order to get that mag in there. Whereas the Glock 19, Glock 17, Glock 45, even stuff like an X Macro, P320 Compact, your fingers are going to be automatically out of the way, right? An XDM Compact has that mag well, so your pinky sort of sits like that, automatically allowing for the easy, entrance for that magazine. Whereas I get it. Something like a DB9, only 6+1 rounds. So this is a firearm where most likely, if you run out of rounds, you're going to be changing a magazine in the middle of defending yourself, right? But how do you do that when you can only get 1.5 fingers on that firearm, right? It's going to be the same thing. I rotate. I get my fingers off where one is like this, because I need to get my thumb, especially on the DB9. I don't know about if you guys have the same issue with your DB9, but this mag catch is and mag release is sort of sticky, and you have to hit it from like the right angle. You almost have to curl around it and press down. So when I'm doing it, I'm just simply rotate like this, and I automatically remember to get that pinky out of the way. Now my hands are weird because of the surgeries I had. 1, 2. I can't get that third finger up. Like these fingers are attached, like 1, 2. So when I get my pinky out of the way, it sort of starts bringing back my other fingers, which is actually sort of nice. It's not nice when you're trying to teach your kids how to count or just show people 1, 2, 3. It looks ridiculous, so I have to go like that. But that is the one downside to small firearms. Other than that, recoil is manageable, especially with something like the DB9. With how small it is, the recoil is actually pretty minimal. And also that trigger is pretty darn decent. I'm more accurate with this than my Ruger LCP Max 380. And it is a little heavier, but for some reason the trigger on this is just pretty decent. So the number one problem you're going to have is, even though this is a sweet shooter, if you run all those 6+1 rounds, 7 rounds, in my head when I think about, okay, I need to carry, where am I going, what am I doing, how many rounds am I carrying? Does that sound like enough? In my head I go, okay, 6+1, boom, 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 boom. That sounds really short. So when you're carrying something like a DB9 Gen 4, maybe just pocket carry, deep concealment, you're going to have those 7 rounds, and you got to do some work with them. But worst case scenario, you got to make that mag change. You got to start training and practicing to get those fingers out of the way and then get right back on. Curl in, right back on. Same with my Glock 26. Because of the thickness of the Glock 26, as well as the shortness and only 2-finger contact, maybe 1.5 fingers as well, you do got to do that curl, and, you can even practice that, reload mags at home. That's a big thing. I don't practice it as much as I should. Honestly, I should be practicing it a lot more, but maybe I'll start getting into that again. Anyways, that is the one downside to carrying a smaller firearm.